Here's your script. Hook. Your AI assistant just hallucinated. Again. It confidently told you something completely wrong, pulled from training data that's a year out of date, and now you have to go fact-check everything it said. That's not an AI problem, that's a retrieval problem. And there's a fix that over 60% of enterprise AI teams are already using in production. It's called RAG, and when you pair it with Claude, it changes everything about how your AI actually performs. Let's talk about what it is, how it works, and whether you should be building with it right now. What it is. Retrieval augmented generation sounds like a mouthful, but the idea is almost embarrassingly simple. Normally when you ask an AI a question, it reaches into its training data, everything it learned before a certain cutoff date, and generates an answer from memory. RAG changes that. Instead of just using memory, the model first goes and looks something up. You give it a knowledge base, your company's documents, a database, a set of PDFs, whatever you have, and before Claude writes a single word, it searches that knowledge base, pulls the most relevant pieces, and then generates its answer based on what it actually found. Think of it like the difference between asking a friend a question off the top of their head versus asking that same friend after they've spent 5 minutes reading the source material. Same intelligence, dramatically better output. Key features. The first thing RAG with Claude does exceptionally well is grounding. Hallucination happens when a model doesn't know something but answers anyway. When you give Claude a retrieval layer, it's working from documents you control. If the answer isn't in your knowledge base, a well-built RAG system will tell you that instead of making something up. For anyone building customer-facing tools, support bots, internal assistants, legal research tools, this is not a nice-to-have. This is the whole ballgame. A wrong answer in those contexts isn't just unhelpful, it's a liability. The second thing is freshness. Claude's training data has a cutoff. Your business doesn't. Products change, policies update, markets shift. With RAG, you're not asking Claude to remember what was true 18 months ago, you're feeding it what's true right now. Plug in a live database or a regularly updated document store and your AI assistant is always working from current information. This is why financial services companies love this pattern. Market data, regulatory updates, client portfolios, none of that can be baked into a model's weights. It has to be retrieved at query time. Third is precision over scale. Here's a problem a lot of people run into: you have 10,000 internal documents and you want your AI to know all of them. You can't fit all of that into a single context window. RAG solves this elegantly. You embed your documents into a vector database, and when a user asks a question, the system finds the 3 or 5 most semantically relevant chunks and passes only those to Claude. You're not asking Claude to read everything, you're asking it to read the right things. The quality of the answer goes up, the cost per query goes down, and you can scale to millions of documents without any fundamental change to your architecture. Fourth is citation and transparency. One of Claude's real strengths is that when you ask it to show its work, it will. In a RAG setup, this becomes genuinely powerful. You can build systems where every answer links back to the source document, the specific page, the exact paragraph. For enterprise use cases, legal, medical, compliance, research, this isn't optional. People need to know where the information came from so they can verify it. RAG with Claude lets you build that audit trail in naturally. And fifth, this is the one people underestimate: personalization at scale. Because RAG is dynamic, you can scope what each user has access to retrieve. A sales rep gets answers pulled from their accounts and their region's playbooks. An engineer gets answers from the relevant codebase and internal docs. An executive gets answers synthesized from high-level reports. Same underlying model, completely different information surfaces, all controlled by your retrieval logic. You don't need to fine-tune separate models for every department. You just control what they can retrieve. Who should use it? If you're building anything where accuracy matters more than creativity, RAG should be your default architecture. Customer support teams dealing with high-ticket volume and complex product documentation, this is for you. Legal and compliance teams who need AI that can cite chapter and verse rather than paraphrase from memory, this is absolutely for you. product teams building internal knowledge tools, onboarding assistants, or anything that needs to stay in sync with a fast-moving codebase or policy set, yes. Healthcare organizations, financial institutions, anyone in a regulated industry where you need explainability baked in, this is the pattern that makes AI deployable in your context. If you're a solo developer building a personal project or prototyping something quick, you can absolutely use RAG2, the tooling has gotten genuinely accessible. But where it pays off most is when the cost of a wrong answer is real. If your AI being wrong is just mildly annoying, you can probably get away with a simpler setup. If your AI being wrong costs you a customer, a lawsuit, or a compliance violation, RAG isn't overhead, it's insurance. Verdict. So where does RAG with Claude actually land? I'd give it a strong 9 out of 10 for production AI applications. The reliability improvement over vanilla prompting is not marginal, it's substantial. The ability to keep your AI current without retraining, to scope knowledge by user, to surface citations automatically, these are features that make AI actually deployable in professional contexts. The one honest caveat is that RAG is not a zero-effort setup. You have to build the pipeline. You have to choose a vector database, handle your embedding logic, think through chunking strategies, and make sure your retrieval is actually surfacing the right documents. That's real engineering work. If someone sells you RAG as a magic switch you flip and everything gets better, be skeptical. The quality of your retrieval directly determines the quality of your outputs. Garbage in, garbage out still applies, it's just garbage at the retrieval layer instead of the prompt layer. But here's the thing, the ceiling is dramatically higher. A well-built RAG system with Claude is one of the most reliable AI architectures available today. When it works, it really works. And the tooling ecosystem has matured to the point where you're not starting from scratch. LangChain, LlamaIndex, Anthropic's own tooling, there are solid starting points for every stack. If you're serious about building AI that you'd actually trust in production, start here. OUTRO. That's RAG with Claude, what it is, what it actually does well, and who should be building with it right now. If you want weekly breakdowns of the AI tools and techniques that are actually worth your time, not the hype, hit subscribe. New video drops every week. Word count, 150 words, sits comfortably in your 8-minute range at average speaking pace. Let me know if you want any section expanded, a different tone, or specific code examples woven in.